We're just really getting started, y'all. But we're talking about what we're always talking about: the fact that you could be, do, and have anything you desire. Anything you desire. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. Happy Wednesday. But if you can think it, you can do it. And the good news is you can learn to think anything that you desire to think. You might have to give up some of your TikTok time, some of your Facebook time, some of your TV time. But if you just start thinking in that direction, I'm telling you, you're going to accidentally start reading some books that'll help you out. You're going to accidentally discover some real cool podcasts. You're going to accidentally meet some cool people who are willing to help you. You're going to accidentally find you a mentor. You just got to start thinking in that direction. You got to understand that your desired reality is not going to create the mood. The mood is going to create your desired reality. You can't wait to feel good. You can't wait to feel inspired once you get it. No, you got to feel inspired now. You got to lean into that thinking now. You got to send your mind in that direction now. And as you start sending your mind in that direction, I'm telling you, you're going to start waking up with good ideas. You're going to change your energetic field around you. If you're in business, you're going to start to feel like the solution. You're going to break yourself out of this place of trying to convince people to buy what you got, and then you're going to put yourself on the right frequency where people see you, they hear about your product, go, where have you been all my whole life? Please take my money. It is a frequency game. You got to get on the right frequency. You got to stop fighting so hard out there. I'm not saying you don't got to do stuff out there, but if you're trying to do stuff out there that you haven't yet built in here and in here, you're hustling backwards. You're hustling backwards. If you can't think it, you can't do it. You got to know what you want. You got to get crystal clear about what you want. And you got to start practicing having it. Having is a state of being. Did you know that? Having is a state of being. Not having is a state of being. People think that having is I got it in my hand. Not having is I don't got it in my hand. I have it. I don't have it. I have it. I don't have it. Having is a state of being. Having is a state of being. What does that mean? That means I could have $20 million in the bank. I can physically have $20 million. And even in that state of physically having $20 million, guess what else I could do? I can go internally. I can go neurologically and hormonally and not have it. Well, what if I lose it? What if someone sues me? What if I do my taxes wrong and the IRS takes it? What if even in the physical having of the money, I can neurologically and hormonally not have it. But if it'll work in that direction, it'll work in that direction. In the physical not having of the money is not there, but I can neurologically and hormonally go, I'm creative. I'm resourceful. I got good ideas. I got an iPad. I got an iPhone. I can talk to people all over the world. I got a message. I got millions. I got millions. Right now it's in the shape of ideas, but as I share these ideas with the world, the bank account don't got no choice but to respond. Even though it's physically not there, I'm in a neurological and hormonal state of having. If I remain in that neurological and hormonal state, guess what the bank account got to do? It has to respond to that frequency. Has to. As I ain't got in that state, you got to know I'm going to be way more influential. If I want you to invest in me, if I want you to do business with me, if I want you to be my customer, if I want you to be my business partner, my influence when I'm in that state of having is going to be way more influential than my influence when I'm out of that state of having. You got to get in the state of having. To need is to not have. You got to stop needing it. To need it is to separate yourself from it vibrationally. Jay, I just need an opportunity. I just need a break. You ain't never going. Nobody's looking to get you what you need. To need is to energetically not have. It's to energetically not have. Give yourself permission to energetically step into that. The metaphor that I use with my clients a lot of times is water, steam, and ice, all the exact same thing. It's H2O at different rates of vibration. If you got steam, you got water, you got ice. If you got ice, you got water, you got steam. I want you to start looking at your ideas and your desires as steam. But what we just say, if you got steam, you got ice. How do you turn steam into ice? How do you turn steam into ice? By cooling it. Cooling it. How do you turn ice into steam? By heating it up. So if you got some steam that you want in your life, you got a desire for a business, a desire for a relationship, you already got the relationship. You just got to speed up the rate of vibration. Or no, in that case, you'll slow it down. Because steam has a fast rate of vibration. That's why it's fluid. But you got to slow down that rate of vibration. How do I do that? I freeze it. So in the 3D, to freeze something, I put it in the freezer. In the metaphysical, when we talk in this manifested realm, when I want to freeze an idea, I freeze it with my focus. I freeze it with my attention. I freeze it with how I react to reality. I freeze it with my belief system. I freeze it with my perception, my story around life. I got to put it in the freezer. Now, the dope thing about putting something in the freezer is once I put something in the freezer, I don't got to do affirmations to make it freeze. I don't got to stare at a vision board to make it freeze. I don't got to get my notebook and write the water is frozen, the water is frozen, the water is frozen, the water. I just got to put the cup in the freezer and leave it in the freezer. Now, if I take it out of the freezer, it don't matter how many affirmations I do. It don't matter how many vision boards I look at. If I take the cup out of the freezer, it's not going to freeze. Affirmation is not going to make it freeze if it's not in the freezer. If I take the cup out of the freezer, I can get my notebook and write the water is frozen, the water is frozen, the water is frozen. If the cup not in the freezer, those affirmations not going to freeze that damn water. This is making sense. It's not about how many affirmations you do. It's not about how many times a day you look at that vision board. It's the cup in the damn freezer. Is the cup in the freezer? I want you to get in the habit of asking yourself, is the cup in the freezer? Would I have reacted that way if the cup was in the freezer? Would I have responded to that situation that way if the cup was in the freezer? Would I be thinking these feelings and feeling these? Would I be thinking these thoughts and feeling these feelings if the cup was in the freezer? No? Okay, let me put my cup back in the freezer. I want you to get in the habit of catching yourself every time you take the cup out of the freezer, and it's as simple as putting the cup back in the freezer. Oh shit, I went into a state of not having. Let me get back into my state of having. How would I be presenting myself in this live if it was already 500 people in here? Let me do that now. How would I be delivering my message if it was already 500 people in here? I'm not going to say, oh man, it's only 5 people in the live. It's not going. I just took my cup out the freezer. You got to stop letting reality bully you into taking your cup out of the freezer. You're not supposed to be following reality. Reality is supposed to be following you. You are a creator. You're not a waiter. You are a creator. Stop waiting and start creating. What are the thoughts that I need to create so that I accidentally do those things? What are the feelings that I need to generate so that I accidentally do those things? If I was already that person I desired to be, how would I think? How would I feel? Start practicing that thinking. Start practicing that feeling. Well, Jay, you don't understand. My home life, my relationship, my partner, I got this, I got this, I got this. Let me tell you something. There's a reason that you close your eyes when you pray. There's a reason that you close your eyes when you meditate. If you book a session with me and come to get hypnotized, I'm going to say, hey, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, close your eyes. Now with your eyes closed, listen to my voice. It's a reason that you close your eyes when you're creating something new, because you got to stop looking at that to go create this thing that you desire. You got to be absent from the body and present with the Father. So in order to alter that reality, guess what you got to do? You got to stop focusing on that reality. In order to change your situation, guess what you got to do? You got to close your eyes to that situation. You got to stop following that situation so that that situation can have no choice but to follow you. When you're following reality, it's like a dog chasing his own tail. God gave men dominion over the world. God gave you dominion over the world. He did not give the world dominion over you. So anytime you're following the thing that you have dominion over, you're out of order. And if you're out of order, your bank account gonna be out of order. If you're out of order, your relationship's gonna be out of order. Your health gonna be out of order. Your business gonna be out of order. How can your business be in order if you are out of order? You gotta get back in order. You gotta stop, I'll be happy when, or I'll be happy now. I'll be successful. No, I'm successful now. And as you sit in that mindset of success, you're gonna accidentally start thinking successful ideas. You're gonna accidentally start reading books that successful people read. You're going to accidentally start listening to podcasts that successful people go to. You're going to accidentally start signing up for seminars and events that successful people go to. What's up, Charlotte? And if you hang out in that mindset of success, you're going to accidentally create some successful results. Now, if you're waiting on a result to become successful, you'll never become successful. Does that make sense? When I work with my athletes, I always tell my athletes, you don't get a trophy and then become a champion. What happens is you become a champion. Right here in the regular season, right here in the off season, you become a champion. Now, when you become a champion, you're going to accidentally do a lot of cool shit. You're going to accidentally start holding yourself to a higher standard. You're going to accidentally start walking like a champion. You're going to accidentally start talking like a champion, having the mannerisms of a champion. You're going to accidentally start holding yourself to a higher standard, and you're going to accidentally start holding your teammates to a higher standard. Season roll around, you accidentally start showing up to practice early and leaving practice late, because that's what champions do. Coach gonna say, hey guys, we off today. You're gonna accidentally go to the gym and throw up 1,000 shots anyway, because that's how champions do shit. Then you're gonna accidentally get you a trophy. Because trophies don't make champions, champions make trophies. And if you waiting on a trophy to make you a champion, you'll never be a champion. Being a champion has to be a mindset before it can be an experience. Being an entrepreneur has to be a mindset before it can be an experience. Being successful is a mindset. It's an identity before it's an experience. Money doesn't make millionaires. Millionaires make money. If you're waiting on money to make you a millionaire, you'll never be a millionaire. Being in a loving relationship doesn't make you loved. Being loved makes you the perfect person to be in a loving relationship. If you're waiting on the relationship to even give you permission to feel loved, you keep yourself energetically separated from the very thing that you claim that you desire. From this day forward, if you want to create on purpose, creation is as simple as this. You got to start thinking and feeling on purpose. If you think and feel on accident, you're going to create on accident. If you think and feel on accident, you're going to look around and see a whole bunch of shit that you recognize but you don't like. And it's going to have stories behind it, and you're going to have lots of people to blame. But the way that you change it is you got to start thinking and feeling on purpose. You got to get in the habit of telling your thoughts what to think and telling your feelings what to feel. You got to get in the habit of telling your thoughts what to think and your feelings what to feel. Coach J, it's not that easy. When you watch a sad movie, do you got to try to get sad, or do you just got to turn the movie on? When you watch a funny movie, do you got to try to laugh, or do you just got to turn the movie on? If it's somebody that you find attractive and you start focusing on that person and you just let your imagination do a little bit of work, do you got to try to get aroused, or do you just got to put your attention on this person that you find attractive? Get a goal that you find attractive. Not a goal that a marketer has sold you, not a goal that other people have pushed on you. Get a goal that you find attractive and start focusing on that goal. And the same way your body would respond sexually when you focus on something that you find attractive. If you find a goal that you're attracted on, you ain't got to try to get aroused. That's what's going to happen when you focus on what you're attracted to. When you focus on what you're not attracted to. When you focus on somebody who you just find disgusting, do you got to try to, don't talk to me, move, get away. You don't got to try to, your body is following your focus. It's not the economy that's stopping you, it's your focus on the economy that's stopping you. It's not the price of eggs and the price of gas that's stopping you. It's your focus on the price of eggs and the price of gas that's stopping you. What do you want? You can't get what you want until you know what you want. You can't get what you want until you know what you want. A lot of people's biggest problem is this simple. They don't know what they want. They are experts at what they don't want, but they can't tell you what they want. When it comes to what they don't want, they can give you all the details, all of the stories, all of the reasons, whose fault it is. But when you say, okay, what do you want? Jay, I just want to be happy. What the hell? You just gave me a 10-minute story that would still be going if I didn't stop it about what you don't want. When I say what you want, Jay, I just want to be happy. I can't keep doing this. You got all of this emotion. You got all of this energy. You got all of these perspectives, all of this evidence over here on what you don't want. But when it comes to what you do want, it's light, it's thin. No wonder you're getting so much of what you don't want. Like that's like getting in a taxi and the driver say, hey, where you want to go? You say, don't take me to the mall. I hate the mall. I hate the mall. It's too expensive. I'm not paying $300 for no one pair of shoes. And then all those teenagers up there, they wearing ski masks and shit. It ain't even cold outside. Man, I hate this young generation. They call themselves YN. I hate the mall. You go to the mall, I can't stand. I'm not going to the mall. Where the fuck do you want to go? I'm a taxi driver. My job is to take you to a destination. Why are you sitting here telling me where you don't want to? Where do you want to go? Or that's like walking into a buffet that has every food you can imagine. If you can think about it, it's in there. Shrimp, steak, lobster, mac and cheese. If you could think about it, it's in there. But you see liver and onions and you go, oh, I hate liver and onions. Why y'all got that in here? Can I speak to a manager? I don't like liver and onion. Can you take that off the bar? The manager like, well, other people might like it, but we got everything else. Do you like chicken? You like, yeah, I love chicken, but this liver and onion, I can't do it. Since I was a child, if you don't stop focusing on this liver and onion and go eat any of the other variety of food that's in here, what's your problem? Why are you spending so much time focusing on, talking about, thinking about what you don't want? And then being surprised when you get it. Did you know that the word manifest means to make obvious to the mind? That's what the word manifest means. Look it up when we done here. The word manifest means to make obvious to the mind. So if you're making it obvious to your mind that everything is too expensive and now that the government shut down, it's only gonna get worse and it's this person's fault and things never work out for me and if only my dad would, if that's what you're making obvious to your mind, that's what you're manifesting. And if you think you're gonna manifest that all day long and do affirmations for 5 minutes and all this back in balance, you crazy. You crazy. You gotta start throughout your day monitoring your thoughts, monitoring your feelings. And every time you realize they're going in the wrong direction, reel them in, point them in the right direction. You don't gotta give yourself a lecture. You ain't gotta beat yourself up. Point yourself in the right direction. If I could think it, I could do it. If I could think it, I could do it. Every problem is a thinking problem. If I could think myself into it, I could think myself out of it. I'm smart, I'm creative, I'm resourceful, I trust myself. You gotta start having that internal dialogue on purpose. You gotta stop letting your mind bully you. You gotta stop letting reality bully you. You gotta start thinking and feeling on purpose. We've been talking about in a lot of the lives lately, how a lot of people have no trouble, they have no problem defending themselves physically. If you push them in the physical, they're gonna push you back in the physical. If you say you ugly in the physical, they say I ain't ugly, your mama ugly. Like they got no problem defending themselves in this realm. But spiritually and emotionally, they're like clay. They're like putty in the world's hands. You got it the same way you stand up for yourself physically, you got to start standing your ground spiritually and emotionally. You live on 3 planes of existence: spiritual, mental, physical. How balanced do you think your life is going to be if you're only defending yourself on 1 out of 3 planes? So I pushed you, you pushed me back. Physically, you stood your ground. But 3 days later, you still talking about, can you believe Jay pushed me? I can't believe he pushed me. I'll just go slap him. 3 days later, you won the physical fight. But 3 days later, it's still taking up mental space. It's still taking up spiritual space. You still meditating on it. You still pondering on it. Jay, I don't know how to meditate. I promise you, you are a great meditator. I promise you, you might not be meditating on purpose, but I promise you, you're doing a whole lot of meditating. So I want you to start asking yourself, am I defending myself emotionally? Am I letting other people steal my joy? And I'm letting circumstances and events and things that are happening out there dictate how I feel. And if the answer is yes, fix it. You don't need a lecture. You're a big boy. You're a big girl. You don't need a lecture. You don't need a whooping. Notice what's going on. Notice the gap. Close it. As hypnotists, we got this rule. We say that there is no such thing as failure. It's just feedback. It's just feedback. There's no such thing as failure. And just because you don't like the feedback, don't mean that you got to put this negative frame of failure around. It's feedback. Take the feedback, keep moving. Take the feedback. Jay, my last relationship was horrible. And you don't understand what he did. I don't want to understand what he did to you. I got to go sit in the frequency with you to understand. I don't need to understand. What you need to understand is that the deeper your understanding get in that, the longer you're going to stay locked in that frequency and the more likely you are to go attract the same person in a different outfit. You're going to be dating the same person with a different name because you refuse to quit studying that frequency. You refuse to quit investigating that frequency. You don't got to become a freaking electrical engineer to not get shocked by electricity. You don't gotta become an electrical engineer to understand lightly enough the principles of how electricity works. You don't gotta become a master of your trauma to never encounter it again. You do gotta come out of the frequency though. It's like if I burn my hand on the stove and I'm gonna go to the next day. Well, maybe if I touch it like this from this angle, oh, still burn. Maybe if I touch it from, maybe if I use, it's gonna burn every time you touch it. Stop touching the damn stove. You don't gotta go get the schematic and try to understand exactly how the stove works. You just quit touching the stove. Now, if you wanna understand how it works just because you're interested in that type of stuff, like some people, I'm generally interested in metaphysics. I'm generally interested in psychology and hypnosis, and I love studying these things. But I meet a lot of people who feel like they gotta understand the ins and outs of these things, and they gotta know every attachment style, and they gotta know their Myers-Briggs, and they gotta understand this stuff at a deep level before they can be happy. No, you don't. No, you don't. And the crazy thing about that situation you just put yourself in, it's always more to learn. It's new information coming out daily. There's always new studies. There's always new stuff coming up. There's always new evidence. So if you got to have it all before you can allow yourself to change energetically, you'll never change. You have to energetically become that version of yourself right now. Not I'll do it when the market happens, when I get my new MacBook, right now. The subconscious only knows now. Like the subconscious has no understanding of tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, right? So let's say I say, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna do better. I'm doing better tomorrow. I've been being lazy, haven't been doing what I need. Tomorrow I'm gonna do better. Well, when I wake up on Thursday, tomorrow's now Friday. And the subconscious mind saying, yeah, tomorrow we gonna do better. Then I wake up on Friday, tomorrow is now Saturday. You never catch up to tomorrow. Right here, right now, I'm stepping into a new identity. I'm stepping into a new identity. And this new identity, I got unshakable confidence. You gotta stop waiting on reality to respond. Reality always has a delay. There's always a delay in reality. If you get pregnant, you're not gonna have a baby the instant you get pregnant. You're gonna be pregnant for 9 months. If you go outside and plant a seed, you're not gonna get a flower or a tree the instant you plant that seed. Reality is always gonna take time to catch up. So let's say you are manifesting millions. We talked about what manifest means. Manifest means to make obvious to the mind. So once you have successfully made it obvious to your mind, you have manifested millions. I bet there's people in here right now who have manifested their desired outcome several times. You've manifested it several times. You made it obvious to your mind several times. The problem is you picked up your phone, went checked your bank account and saw that it wasn't there. Then you made that obvious to your mind. You had manifested it. The ideas were on the way. The opportunities was on the way. The universe was literally working behind your back to align you with millions. But you forgot about the time delay and why the universe was catching up to you. While you were hanging out on the frequency, you went, oh man, it didn't work. Oh man, it didn't work. So now you made it obvious to your mind that you're not a millionaire. Does that make sense? Manifest means to make obvious to your mind. So the instant you make it obvious to your mind, you manifested it. I want you to start looking at manifestation as more like impregnation, like it's impregnating. So if you see a pregnant woman, she 2 months pregnant, she's starting to show. You say, oh, okay, you pregnant. Cool. You see her 3 days later. You ain't say it ain't here yet? Dang, you sure you're pregnant? She's like, no, idiot. It takes time. The baby is literally building itself inside of me. It got to build itself inside of me because it's too much out there. It can't withstand on its own now. It needs me. It needs to feed off of me. It needs to attach to me. It's attached to my energy. So I got to keep it inside of me until it's big enough and strong enough and has an immune system that can stand on its own. The goal is inside of you. And this is what I love about the pregnant analogy. I talk about it all the time because it's my favorite analogy for manifesting. A pregnant woman doesn't have to build a baby. She just has to give the baby an environment to grow in. You've never seen a pregnant woman walking around with a checklist going, hey, I can find, they say I need 100 trillion cells. They say I need a heart, Some long, oh, God, I don't know where I'm gonna get a kidney from. You using your kidney? Hell yeah, I'm using my kidney. What's wrong with you, woman? She don't gotta go around and collect the organs. She just has to give the baby an environment to grow in. If she give the baby an environment to grow in, the baby will build itself. I didn't have to build I Coach Bosses. I just had to give I Coach Bosses an environment to grow in. I didn't have to build Creators Create. I just had to give Creators Create an environment to grow in. Abundant living, I didn't have to build abundant living. I just had to give it an environment to grow in. But because I gave it an environment to grow in, it built itself. And I became pregnant with this thing. I could push it out, they could cut it out, but ready or not, here it comes. I had to stay pregnant with the goal. And because I stayed pregnant with the goal, it got to the point where I wasn't like forcing the goal was forcing me. It got to the point where the goal got so big inside of me, it started spilling out of my mouth. It started coming up with its own idea. I would wake up with ideas, go, damn, that's a good idea. Yeah, you're right, that is a good idea. Wow. The ideas will find you if you just stay onto the frequency. You got to stop trying to use willpower. Willpower is not going to save you. The baby's taken away from her as and provides for herself. And the baby's going to feed off you. So your job is not to build the baby. Your job is to make sure that you just create an environment where the baby can, in as healthy a way as possible, feed off of you and get what it needs. So you ain't got to build a baby. You might want to quit drinking. You might want to quit smoking. You ain't got to build a baby, but if you want to be helpful, keep stress to a minimum. That makes sense. You ain't got to build a business, but you might want to quit watching the news if it's scaring you. You might want to quit taking in all that negative information. You ain't got to build a business, but you know it'd be helpful if you start talking to your messy friend who only knows how to talk about what can go wrong and has a problem for every solution. You might want to stop talking to her, at least about your business. You can talk to her about whatever else y'all want to talk about, but you might want to stop talking to her about your business. You ain't got to build it. You just got to not abort it. You just got to not abort the business. You don't got to build a business. You just got to stop aborting the business. And if you just let the business keep growing inside of you, I'm telling you, it's going to get to the point where you're going to go into labor. And when you go into labor, it ain't something that you got to do. It's something that you get to do. It's something you can't wait to do. Opportunities start finding you and things just start lining up piece by piece by piece. And you go, dang, it was right there the whole time. Your job is to stay pregnant. You got to stop aborting your baby because you saw something on the news that you don't like. Earlier, it was something about putting a cup in the freezer. You got to stop taking the cup out of the freezer because somebody else wasn't as excited about the idea as you. You got to stop taking your cup out the freezer. You got to stop taking your baby out the oven because your last live stream wasn't as big as you wanted it to be. Man, this thing is working behind your back in ways you would never imagine. Your job is to keep showing up in a decent mood. You ain't got to feel perfect. Show up in a decent mood. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. Keep thinking about it. Keep fantasizing. Keep leaning in that direction. I teach my clients this thing that I call the 5 C's. Clarity, calibration, confidence, competence, consistency. And the thing that I love about the 5 C's is you don't physically even start doing stuff until the 4th C. The 4th C is competence. The 4th C is where we do stuff. So let's talk about the 5 C's and let's put it in a real life example. If somebody came to me and said, hey, Coach Jay, I really got to lose some weight. I'm not going to say, all right, I want you going to Planet Fitness 3 times a week. I want you getting 10,000 steps in a day. I want you drinking a gallon of water a day and stop eating bread. Not going to say none of that. Coach Jay, I really got to lose some weight. Okay, let's get clarity. First C. What number do you want to see on the scale? Cool. What size shirt you want to wear? What size jeans you want to wear? Okay, cool. What's some of those stores that you would like to shop at, but right now those clothes not very appealing on your current body? When we get that number on the scale, what's some of the stores you're going to be shopping at? Okay, cool. That's what's up. What's your energy going to be like? How is having this result going to change your sex life? Oh, you're going to have more stamina. Okay. Okay, clean. I'm going to get clear about what it is that you want. Okay, now that I know what you want, second C is calibrate. Let's calibrate you to what you want. Let me ask y'all something. When you calibrate to a sad movie, do you got to try to get sad, or do you just got to calibrate to the movie? If you calibrate to a scary movie, do you got to try to get scared, or do you just got to calibrate to the movie? Let's take it a little deeper. If you calibrate to what you don't want, if you calibrate to, well, my grandmother is heavier, my mother is heavier, all my aunts are heavier, we just heavy people. If you calibrate to that, do you got to try to feel down and like, what's the point and it's never going to work? Or is that just what happened as a result of what you calibrated to? We just got clear about what you wanted. We know the number you want to see on the scale. We know the size shirt you want to wear, the size jeans you want to wear. We know that you're going to have extra stamina. We know that you're going to be at the beach and you're too. If we could calibrate it to that, do you think you're going to have to try to feel confident? Do you going to think you're going to have to try so hard to stop being caught? If we just get you calibrated to that, it's a whole bunch of positive emotions. It's a whole bunch of positive energy that's going to follow what we just calibrated to. Y'all keeping up with me? Tap the screen if you're keeping up. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling. There we go. There we go. Yeah, okay. I'm not in here by myself. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So you're going to keep calibrating until you accidentally hit the third C. The third C is confidence. So let's backtrack. I got clear about where I wanted. I got clear about what I wanted. Then I calibrated to what I wanted. I put my attention on what I wanted. I started focusing on what I wanted. I kept calibrating until it got to the point where my nervous system started calibrating for me. That's what I call confidence. I call confidence when I'm clear about what I want and I'm so calibrated to what I want in here and in here that I don't need things out there to behave a certain way. I'm clear, calibrated, and confident in the fact that my purpose is to remind people who the fuck they are. My core values are have fun and remind them of who they are. Every speech I give, every book I write, every session I step into, have fun, remind them of who they are. I don't got to fix them because they're not broken. They just forgot about who they were. Have fun, remind them of who they are. I'm so calibrated. I'm so confident to have fun, remind them of who they are. I don't give a fuck if it's 7 people in this live or 7,000 people in this live. I'm going to have fun and I'm going to remind them of who they are. That's the power of being clear, calibrated, and confident. When I'm clear, calibrated, and confident, I don't need the bank account to look a certain way for me to do what I do. If I'm clear, calibrated, and confident, I don't give a damn if you're saying I agree or I don't agree. I was never calibrating to you to begin with. When I'm clear, calibrated, and confident, I don't care what they say on the news. If you want to go to the recession, you go to a recession. I'm finna go have fun and remind people who they are. If you clear, let's go back to the weight loss example. If you clear, calibrated, and confident, Jay already stood on the scale. So let me talk about how I would calibrate you if we were back to the weight loss scenario. I would say something like, in one of our sessions, I said, you got a scale at your house? You say, yeah, I got a scale. Describe your scale to me. Coach Jay, it's a clear scale. It got like 2 silver strips on it, and it got black digital letters at the top. Cool. Close your eyes and imagine standing on that scale. When you could really feel that scale under your feet, nod your head, yes, stand up if you need to. Okay, now that you feel that scale under your feet, I want you to look down and tell me what number do you see on that scale. 230, try again. What number do you see on that scale? 148. Oh, and as you see 148 on that scale, how does that feel? What's going to My fault. What's going to happen is once you answer that question, without them even trying, their body language is going to change. Their shoulders going to go back. They're going to stand a little bit taller. They're going to start feeling sexy. Coach Jay say 142. Okay, she say 170. Okay, you standing on that scale and you see 170. Now, as you stand on that scale and you see 170, what does that feel like? Coach Jay, feel good. I've been waiting on this. Good. This is calibrated. Now, I want you to imagine that your partner just walked in. You standing on this scale, you see that 170 on the scale, and your partner just walked in. What's your partner doing? He just bit his lip. What that mean? Oh, okay. Let's evacuate this scene. I want you to imagine you stepping off that scale. You keeping that same body, but you're stepping off of that scale. I want you to imagine walking into your office Monday morning. And that hating bitch, Cheyenne, that you told me about, that hating bitch, Sarah, that you told me about, she looking at you and you at 170. How that feel with her seeing you and you 170? It feel good, Jay. It feel amazing. Yeah, okay, cool. That's calibrating. I'm gonna keep calibrating you. I'm gonna keep calibrating you until your nervous system start doing that for you. I'm gonna keep calibrating you until it get to the point where the same day you used to accidentally get insecure, now you accidentally saying I can walk in any room with my shoulders back, my chest out, and my chin up. I'm gonna keep calibrating you until this calibration becomes your new personality. And then we're gonna get to step 4. So we got clear, we got calibrated, we got confident. Step 4 is competent. This is where we take action. Notice how I ain't sent you to the gym yet. Notice I ain't told you to change what you're eating yet. I ain't told you to drink no water, take no stuff. I ain't told you to do none of that yet. I got you clear about what you wanted. I got you calibrated to what you wanted. And I got you confident in what you wanted. Now that you are what I call under the influence of what you want, now I'm gonna say, hey, what's your relationship like with the gym? Coach, I hate the gym. I feel like people be staring at me, such and such and such. I'm gonna say, you don't got to go to the gym, but you do got to find some ways to burn calories. I don't know if you like swimming. I can't swim. You like dancing? Coach J, I love dancing. Okay, you finna start dancing for 30 minutes a day. You finna start dancing for 30 minutes a day. And I want you dancing all out. And I want you throwing that. I want you 30 minutes a day. I want you dancing. I'm gonna see you next week. You're gonna say, Coach J, you're not gonna believe this. I'm already down 2 pounds. I'm gonna say, I believe it. This is what I do. I'm the best at what I do. And as you start seeing those results, you're gonna say, Coach J, the other day I was just sitting at the home. I accidentally called up to the gym. They had a membership for $9.99. I did it. I'm gonna put in an hour on the treadmill. And I did my dance. I'm gonna say, what's up? Now you're starting to pick up this new momentum. You're sitting on this new frequency. You're gonna accidentally start curving your appetite. You're gonna accidentally start eating. Coach Jay, the other day I was out there with some friends and I was about to get that burger that I always get, but I seen my results and just the way I'm feeling now, I was like, that burger gonna make me feel heavy. I didn't want it. Jay, I didn't use willpower to get the Caesar salad. I don't know, it's the weird, I wanted the Caesar salad. I know, because you clear, calibrated, and confident for the first time in your life. And you're gonna continue accidentally losing 1 to 2 pounds a week. And it's gonna pick up momentum. And the last is consistency. You're gonna keep doing what you're doing. As you keep going, you're gonna get more clarity. Every time you get more clarity, you're gonna calibrate again. You're gonna, keep calibrating until you become confident in the new calibration. Then that's gonna give you some new stuff to do. Then you're gonna keep running those 5 C's over and over and over again. I don't care what kind of problem you got in your life. If you throw those 5 C's at it, the problem is going to disappear. The problem is going, I don't care if it's a money problem. I don't care if it's a marriage problem. I don't care if it's a health problem, fitness problem. Get clear about what you want. Calibrate to what you want. Keep calibrating until you become confident in what you want. Once you become confident in what you want, competence. Now we take action. We don't take action when we unclear, uncalibrated, and unconfident. That's stupid. Imagine going to a networking event, but you unclear, uncalibrated, and unconfident. Well, what do? I do a little bit of everything. You know, I do some of this, I do some of that. I'm working on my book. Okay, cool. Jay, I've been networking. It's not working. Of course it's not working. You unclear, uncalibrated, unconfident. Imagine going on TikTok Live to promote your business, but you unclear, uncalibrated, unconfident. Hey, y'all, what y'all doing? What y'all up to? I be doing designing and stuff. No niche. Do you design for entrepreneurs? Do you design for create? Like, I'm a business coach. Do you help with business financing? Do you help with marketing? Do you help people get like LLC? Do you help entrepreneurs with their confidence? You know how many layers it is to be you unclear, uncalibrated, and unconfident. Jay, TikTok Live don't work. I promise you TikTok Live work. Jay, YouTube don't work. I promise you YouTube works. But if you unclear, uncalibrated, unconfident, nothing works. Jay, you don't understand. I spent $5,000 on this course and they taught me about funnels and they gave me all these scripts. If you're unclear, uncalibrated, and unconfident, a funnel not gonna save you. You gotta get clear about what you want. Calibrate about what you want. You got to keep calibrating until you become confident in what you want. Okay? I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. Like those are my people. I love working with entrepreneurs. So most of my calendar is gonna be executives, 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs and professional athletes. I work with people outside of that scope, but that's probably 85% of my clientele: entrepreneurs, athletes, executives. And when I'm working with a lot of these entrepreneurs, when they first come in, I'll go look at their website just to see what's going on. And sometimes I go, man, no wonder you've hit this plateau. I'm at the bottom of your website and I have no idea what you do. I don't know if you are a counselor. I don't know if you're a consultant. I don't know if you're a public speaker. Even if I wanted to spend money with you, I'm not quite sure of what to do next. Do I fill out this form at the top? Do I call this? Like, I'm confused. And the reason I'm confused is because you were unclear, uncalibrated, and unconfident when you built this website. For sure. And you got to keep going, but you're going to keep going on with clarity, calibration, and how did they get to 7 figures? Because hard work can get you into 6, 7 figures. But to scale it into the 9, that's when you're going to need some clarity and calibration. You can grind your way into 6 figures. I've done it. You can grind your way into the low 7s. And sometimes it'll be like a wife with a wealthy husband, or they got money in the family. There's ways to get there. They're powerful manifestors, but they went as far as their current skill set can take them. That makes sense. They gonna have to fix it to get to this next level. I believe I ain't gonna say anybody. Most people can grind their way definitely into the 6 figures. You can get a decent paying job. You ain't even got an entrepreneur your way into 6 figures. But to get past the low 7s, and especially those high 9s, clarity, calibration, confidence is going to take that. Because at a certain point, your job you're not working in the business, you're working on the business. You out shaking hands, introducing yourself to people, and your energy is doing the work. But you got to get clear about what you want. You got to get clear about what you want. Now, here'll go the crazy thing about the 5 C's. A lot of people running the 5 C's and they don't even know it. And they running it in the wrong direction. They clear about what they don't want. They calibrate it to what they don't want. They confident in what they don't want. Then they get to step 4 and they doing all this stuff, but they doing all this stuff while they clear, calibrated, and confident in what they don't want. Then that last C is consistency. They doing it over and over and over again. So my question to you is, are you running the 5 C's already and you just running them in the wrong direction? You know, you don't like your job, you don't like your boss, they micromanage you, they overwork you and underpay you. They're not even giving you the original schedule that you signed up to work for. Old girl started working there after you, but she got promoted over you because she's sleeping with the boss. You know what you don't want. And you calibrate it to what you don't want. You get on the friends and you talk about the stuff that you don't like at your job. That's calibrate. You get on TikTok and you watch videos about the stuff that you don't like at your job. That's calibrate. Dear diary, today was horrible. Samantha said, that's calibrate. So you calibrating to what you don't want, and you've calibrated to it so much that you've become confident in what you don't want. So you got faith, but your faith is in what you don't want. You got faith in the fact that Samantha never changed. You got faith in the fact that things will always be this way. Do you actually do hypnosis their way of saying you can easily? No, I'm a hypnotist. Like, this is what I do. 2 decades in. What's going on, Jasmine? Not only am I a hypnotist, I'm the best. That's Googleable. But no, I'm a hypnotist. So does that make sense? I'm willing to bet you already running the 5 C's, but you running them in the opposite direction. I'm clear about what I don't want. I'm calibrated to what I don't want. I'm confident in what I don't want. And what most people do from their place, they think affirmation is going to save them. It's not. They think vision board is going to save them. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It'll put you on this. Thank you, Raven. It'll put you on this seesaw. But what most people do when they're doing affirmation, they're saying, let me do these affirmations so I can get this money that I don't have. Let me do this affirmation so I can get this lover that I don't have. Let me do these affirmations so I can save my struggling business. They just get on this seesaw. And it's always from under, I'm doing affirmations from under the influence of what I don't want. I'm looking at this vision board from under the influence of what I don't want. You got to get from under the influence of what you don't want. Like, another time where we use the words under the influence is when it comes to alcohol. When you're under the influence of alcohol, it's going to change you. It's going to change the way you walk, change the way you talk, change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way you act. When you're under the influence of what you don't want, it's going to change the way you walk, change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way you act. But when you get under the influence of what you want, you're going to accidentally put your shoulders back, accidentally put your chest out, accidentally put your chin up, and accidentally walk in the rooms that the old you wouldn't walk into. You're going to accidentally stop negotiating with reality and start creating the life that you desire. They do it out of fear, out of survival mode. Yeah, so you're doing affirmations from your sympathetic nervous system. Your endocrine system is filling you up with cortisol, and you building an attachment with affirmations and being stuck. As hypnotists, we use this thing called the law of association. If two stimulus happen over and over at the same time, the subconscious will start to pair one with the other, get into like Pavlov and the dogs. Every time he fed the dogs, he'll ring the bell. So it got to the point where every time he rung the bell, their mouth would water. No food in sight, but their subconscious had connected the sound of the bell to getting ready to eat. So their mouth will prepare to eat every time the bell rung. You see, a lot of people, every time they feel nervous, they start doing affirmations, and their body starts to learn to pair the affirmations with the feeling nervous. So now they're doing the affirmations and they get nervous, and it's just a whole little shit show. Simplify it. Get clear about what you want. Get clear about what you want. Figure out what you want. And start reverse engineering what you want. What beliefs would I have if I already had these? Okay, I might want to start practicing these beliefs. What would I be focusing on if I already had this? I might want to start focusing on that now. What would my convictions be if I already had this? I might want to start making those convictions now. What would my body language be like? How would I stand? If I already start being that version now? And I'm telling you, as you just hang out in that frequency, reality has no choice but to respond. But you got to understand, you can't hang out in that frequency for 5 minutes and expect that 5 minutes to shift everything. You've been practicing doubt for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And you think 5 minutes of confidence is finna just undo 30 years of all over the place thinking? No, but it's a start. And I always tell my clients that the end goal is a distraction. Whatever that thing is that you want, the money in the bank account, the car in the garage, the person in the bed, all of that is a distraction. What you need to focus on is, am I in alignment with it energetically from day to day? If the answer is yes, get excited. If the answer is no, fix it. You don't got it, because what happened is you will do the work. Your nervous system is doing what it needs to do to move you in that direction. Your endocrine system is doing what you need to do to get it in that direction. You're out of fight or flight. You're in your parasympathetic, you're in your sympathetic nervous system. And if you could just lock into that pocket, you would change your bank account. But what happened is you'll put yourself in that scenario. You'll put yourself in that environment, check your bank account, and snap right out of it. You'll go from being hypnotized to what you want to checking your bank account. Now you're hypnotized by what you don't want. And you'll go, oh, Jay, it don't work. It worked. You just being sloppy with it. Yeah, it works. It does. You just being sloppy with it. Yep. Faith works no matter what you pointed at. If you point faith at your failure, it's gonna work. You're gonna manifest your failure. If you point faith at your success, it's gonna work. Coach Jay, I don't got confidence. You confident in something. Right now it sounds like you confident in your lack of you confident in something. Coach Jay, I'm undisciplined. What you did this weekend? I mean, I watch all 5 seasons of Breaking Bad. You don't think it take discipline to watch 5 seasons of a show in one freaking weekend? Oh, you disciplined. You just unclear about what you want, and you calibrate to what you don't want. Your discipline, your faith, your focus, all those things you got to reprogram. You will accidentally shift that if you just get clear about what you want and start focusing on what you want. Does that make sense? If you can think it, you can do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. I'm going to show you something powerful about your attention. Can I borrow your attention? If I can't borrow your attention, get out. But if I can keep your attention, just stay here with me for a second. Elephant. Pickle. Banana. Money. Kit. House. You see how every word that I say, without even trying, you're going to accidentally come up with an internal representation of that thing. When I say house, you don't got a choice whether or not you're going to, if you give me your attention, your imagination is going to respond to what I'm saying. If you give me your attention, your nervous system is going to respond to what I'm saying. You got to stop giving your attention to stuff so loosely, because to give your attention to it is to allow it in your nervous system. And so many people fill their timeline, fill their social media, fill their life with stuff they swear they don't like. Stuff they swear they don't like. I'm a big fan of having my clients open up TikTok and just go on your For You page and let's see what's the first 10 videos that come up. I love this TikTok algorithm. It's so you. So you can tell me one thing, but that TikTok algorithm gonna give you away every time. Let me see the first 10 videos to come up on your TikTok algorithm. That's gonna tell me what you've been focusing on. That's gonna tell me what you've been talking about. That's gonna tell me what you've been thinking about. And if you think you finna come spend an hour a week with me and talk about abundance and lack and creating this life that you desire, but you finna go spend I don't know how many hours in a week, however many hours in a week, you finna go spend all those hours. What's going on, Cafe? Thinking about, feeling about, discussing about what you don't want. You're gonna be taking one step forward to take 2 steps back, to take 1 step forward and 2 steps back, to take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And it's not that it's not working. It's working exactly the way it's designed. You're not controlling your focus. You don't got an anxiety problem. You're supposed to feel anxious when you're focusing on stuff you don't like. Yeah, that's how it works. You're supposed to feel anxious if you're focusing on going out of business. You're supposed to feel anxious if you in your imagination and imagining not being able to feed your kids. Yeah, you're supposed to. You're supposed to feel a pit in your stomach when you're thinking about the worst case scenario. What do you want? Start thinking about that. And as you start thinking about that, you're going to accidentally find you some friends who like to think in that direction too. So now instead of getting on the phone, talking about what you don't want and complaining about what you don't want, now y'all on the phone brainstorming ideas. Now you got a circle of people who are more likely to talk you into it instead of talking you out of it. I hear so many people, Coach, I just don't got an environment. I don't got no support. The people who would support you, they're not going to like this version of you. You could be their client, but you can't be their friend. You're going to have to change what's going on in here and in here before you get invited to the positive table. Because if you think you're going to come sit at that table complaining, they're going to be looking around like, who friend is, who invited, got a problem for every solution to the table. They not going, the people who going to speak life into you, the people who going to help you to create this life you desire, they don't want to hang with the complaining, sad, poor me version of you. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to start speaking life into you. You're going to have to start motivating you first. But as you spend time in that frequency, you're going to accidentally meet some people who going to want to help you maintain that. You're going to accidentally see some people who go, hey, you feel like you should be over here. Come sit over here. Come sit over here. But you are literally going to repel those people when your narrative is nobody wants to help me, Jay. If I just had some help, da-da-da-da-da. You got to change what's going on in here. Like one of the guys that I'm mentoring right now, the first time he asked me to mentor him, he was talking about my proprietary process called the 5 C's. And I could tell he had spent hours on my YouTube channel. He could speak the language. He was saying, Jay, I'm clear, I'm calibrated. I'm struggling with the confidence. So it's like sometimes I'm calibrated and I'll be going good. The instant I have me and my wife, have a fallout, it decalibrates me. So what I've been trying to do is X, Y, Z, but this is where I'm falling short. Bro, come here. Come here. He didn't watch a 30-second TikTok video and go, Coach Jay, will you mentor me? He has been studying. He has been learning. And this is the thing about it. I don't mind reaching out to help him because the nuance that he got to fix is this big. He didn't come to me with a gap this big saying, close this gap for me. When he first found the content, the gap was this big. He used my free resources. He used stuff that I already had out there. He closed the gap, and he reached out to me when the gap was this big. You got to know I'm really inclined to help you close a gap this big. You got a gap this big, bro. You got to let's book you a session. Like we got to start from. But if you got a gap this big, and I like you as a person, you got a positive attitude about yourself. Man, come here. Like, bro, this is all you doing. You gonna do. Let me know how that work out for you. Nobody is coming to save you. And the fact of the matter is you don't need to be saved. And another fact of the matter, you don't want to be saved. You don't want nobody else being the hero in your story. You want to be the hero of your story. But you got to go ahead and do that in here. You got to, in your head and in your heart, remember who you are. Stop trying to learn so much stuff. Like, a lot of people use self-development as a distraction from pain. They don't even apply the stuff they learn. They just go buy the book, get the dopamine hit, and they feel better. They read the first chapter of the book, throw the book to the side, but they got the dope. They use self-development as a distraction to feel better. Get out of that loop. What do you want? What do you want? Then you get, analysis paralysis, where you read Neville Goddard, but you're reading Esther Hicks, but you're reading Joe Dispenza, and you studied all these people, and all of those systems work, but it's gonna be some places where Esther Hicks saying I should be doing this, but Joe Dispenza saying I should be doing this. Which one should I do? Whichever one of them works for your lifestyle the best. Both of them work, but you go on circular. Figure out what you want. Get calibrated to what you want. Spend more time thinking about what you want than you spend thinking about what you don't want. And I'm telling you, some miraculous stuff is going to start happening. I'm going to be landing in a little bit. Do we got any specific questions before I land? Any specific questions before I land? Did everybody get the 5 C's? Thanks for the likes, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Quick reminder, your only limit in life is your own imagination. That's your only limit. Nothing can stop you. Disease can't stop you. Diagnosis can't stop you. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, getting laid off, the tariffs, the cost of eggs, nothing can stop you. You can focus on that and decide to quit, but that's not what stopped you. That's just what had your attention when you quit. Like, you more powerful than I can even put in words, man. You are a creator, a limitless creator at that. I want you to start building stuff from the inside out. Stop trying to build stuff from the outside in. You got to build it in here, and if you just build it in here, it'll come out of you. If you just put it in you, it ain't got no choice but to come out of you. Okay? Put it in there. If you just put it in there, I'm telling you. Put it in there. Start focusing on what you want, and magical things are going to happen. We ain't got no questions. Because I'm finna get ready to land this plane if we don't. I don't understand the question, Daddy. Let me read it again. Is there a relational order to manifestation before manifesting other things? In the physical, yes. But in the 4D and the 5D, it's not linear. And a lot of times that linear thinking is what gets us stuck. So the order of operations is not our job. Our job is to get in the frequency of the finished product and then ride that wave. That's the best way I can explain it. Like, creators create was one of the last things that I breathed life to business-wise. It's one of my latest developments. But the name Creators Create has been in my heart, has been floating around in my head for years before I finally did something with it. So that was a piece of the puzzle that showed up years ago that I didn't even bring into the 3D until here recently in the past year. Man, I believe they have to manifest money. So yeah, and if you believe it in if it's true in your subconscious, it's true for you. So every truth is a half truth. So if you take that if you take that in your subconscious, then that becomes your reality. So that's why we get clear about what we want. Jay, I want a wife, but I want a wife and I want to be able to take care of her well. I want to be able to support my family. I want a family and I want to be able to support my family. You get clear about that. Then you get calibrated to that. And you keep calibrating to that till you become confident in that. And once you become confident in that, the process gonna find you. Like it's going back to the building of the baby. You don't go find the eyes and the nose and the baby builds itself. That life that you're manifesting is gonna build itself. Your job is to stay in their frequency. And how it unfolds, maybe you discover the money making opportunity, then you meet the woman. Maybe you meet the woman and she helps you to build that. Like how it unfolds is not your work. How it unfolds is gonna keep you stuck and keep you on that seesaw. How is not your business. You need to worry about what. How is not your business. You need to worry about what. And the what will inspire the how. Is manifesting material things limiting? It's about your approach. I'm not gonna. It's a distraction for most people. For most people, some people probably can go directly for the material thing, but it's gonna depend on your level of conviction in what you believe. If you got a strong enough conviction, you could go straight for the material thing. Yeah, the order is not your business. This is what I want. And as you get on that frequency, the order is gonna find even when I first started doing hypnosis sessions, there's a textbook way to do hypnosis. The pre-talk, the hypnotic induction, the deepener, the embedded, there's a structural way to do hypnosis. But 2 decades in, I just showed up to my office. I've done this thousands of times. So sometimes some of my guts say we don't need a pre-talk. They've been watching my YouTube videos. They've been coming to the lives. We don't need a pre-talk. Let's get busy. Something in my gut say we're gonna spend most of the time in the pre-talk. We're gonna just use conversation. Something in your gut just no. Your job is to get in the frequency, hang out there, and trust your intuition to guide you. Trust your intuition to guide you. But back to your question of is manifesting material things limiting? When you understand what's really going on, it's not. But when you don't understand what's going on, it keeps you like a dog chasing its own tail. The word manifest, like we talked about, let me show you real quick. Give me a second. Let me get an open tab on my laptop here. I don't want to close that. I'm using that. Give me, I can use this. Google.com. So let me type this in real quick. And then I'm gonna flip this around and show you something. So I went on Google and I typed in define manifest, okay? Look at this definition. Clear or obvious to the eye or the mind. Clear or obvious to the eye of the mind. Look at these synonyms: obvious, clear, plain, apparent, evident. Nowhere in that definition is it talking about anything physical. Nowhere in that definition is it talking about anything you can taste, touch, feel, hear, and see. The definition of manifest means to make clear or obvious to the mind. If it's clear to your mind that I'm in a city where there's no opportunity and things never work out for me, you're done manifesting it. You have successfully manifested that. And the longer you hang out in that manifestation, the more evidence of that is going to show up around you. If it's clear and obvious to your mind that I'm on track to being a millionaire, I got a high value skill, I got a job that don't even feel like work. I love what I do. If I just keep doing what I'm doing, the millions have no choice but to show. I've successfully manifested the millions. Now, as I hang out in that place, I'm gonna accidentally keep giving birth to businesses. I'm gonna accidentally keep meeting clients. I'm gonna accidentally keep filling my schedule up. I'm gonna accidentally keep doing this, and I'm manifesting the millions. So the reason I say that the end goal can be a distraction, you're right, or because you can manifest needs. The reason I say that the end thing could be a distraction, because the millions aren't in my bank account right now. But at the same time, I've more than doubled what I made last year. So it's working. If I start saying the millions aren't here, I've stopped manifesting the millions, and now I'm manifesting the millions are not here. Does that make sense? How do you know if you're in that frequency you want to be in? Your feelings. Your feelings will always tell you. Your feelings are going to tell you what frequency you're in. What's going on, Raquel? How you doing? Your feelings like a check engine light. They'll let you know. It's kind of like example that I use with my clients sometimes. If you out shopping and you put on a pair of jeans you like, you don't gotta go, I don't know. When you put on a pair of jeans you like, as you button them up, you go, okay, yeah, I like the wash on these. I like the shape on, yeah, I like these. Ooh, this is my new favorite pair of jeans. If you gotta go, I don't know, that's probably not the pair. You gotta start getting in your imagination and playing. You gotta start spending time in meditation. You gotta start spending more time in here. More time, not all of your time, because you gotta go do stuff out there. But you gotta start, some people don't spend any time in here, not on purpose anyway. You gotta start going in here and in here on purpose. So do we stay in the mindset of the person who has the thing, or do we see ourselves in that thing? I don't understand the difference in the two things that you pose. Do we stay in the mindset of the person who has a thing, or do we see ourselves? From my point of view, you just said the same thing 2 times. So maybe you can ask me again in another way. Just hang out in the frequency and understand you're a human. Not only are you a human, you're a creator. As a creator, you're going to notice things that you don't like. What you got to do is understand that when you notice things you don't like, because you're a creator, without even trying, you're going to give birth to a new desire. You got to start getting hypnotized by the desire and not the situation that inspired the desire. Does that make sense? So let's say you manifesting $100,000 a year. You manifesting it. You've locked it in your mind. I got the resources. I got the potential. I got relationships. I got a mouthpiece. I can talk. I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track. You've manifested that. I got an opportunity. I'm motivated. I'm inspired. You hanging out there. Then you check your bank account and you see not enough money. When you see not enough money, without even trying, you're gonna give birth to a desire for more money. What you got to do is learn how to consciously lean into the desire for more money and not the situation that created the desire. Man, I don't never got enough money. I don't know how I'm supposed to get this money if I don't got money. You got to spend money to make. Now you manifested in the opposite direction. And nobody is not expecting perfection. I always tell my clients, my first order of business with you is to get you spending 51% of your time in the frequency of what you want. If I could just get you spending 51% of your time in that direction, life gonna start moving in that direction. Now, is that the end goal? Absolutely not. But if I want you spending 51% of your time. I just want you spending slightly more time focusing on what you want than focusing on what you don't want. And that gap will get crazy and crazy. As you see the benefit of what the 1% do. Like, man, 51% did that. You gonna accidentally start going, I ain't gonna focus on that. I'm focusing, as you just start seeing the results of that slight shift. you'll accidentally on purpose start taking your attention off of that. You'll accidentally start to be able to start connecting dots to how this thought gave birth to that and this created that. And I met this person I ain't even mean to, and you'll start disciplining yourself. Now you gotta understand, you want that delay between your asking and your receiving. You want that delay. Because if you didn't have that delay, I mean, every time you thought a negative thought, a brick could fall on your head or something like that. You want that delay because it gives you time to get more clarity. It gives you time. Like when I first started doing what I do, for instance, early in the game, I wanted to be booked and busy. I heard it on social media. It sounded like, hell yeah, booked and busy. Then I got booked and busy. I was like, wait, hold on. This is too much. All these people, no, quadruple the price and lower the availability. I don't want to be booked and busy. I want to make a good living doing what I do, but this booked and busy part, y'all can have that booked and busy. That's for the birds. I don't want it. So as I was going, I made a new discovery. I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm allowed to collect more data. You got to start looking at it as data. Now, it wasn't my life is over. Now I'm booked and busy. I want something new. Thank you for that clarity. Appreciate you. I'm finna start focusing on, okay, I gotta start learning how can I increase the value on this? How can I increase the demand on this? This booked and busy stuff is, I'm not finna have an hour-long discussion about how I don't wanna be booked and busy. I'm finna spend that time focusing on what I want. It's going back to the example that we used earlier. Imagine if you get in the backseat of a taxi and the driver say, okay, where are we going? You say, don't take me to the mall, I hate the mall. It's too many people and I hate the mall, man. Teenagers walking around with ski masks on, and I don't like the mall. I don't like the mall. Did you say something before that? Or a bigger house means more cleaning? Or maybe that's tying into what we want. But you can't just sit in the back of the taxi and tell the driver where you don't want to go. You got to say, man, yeah, I hate the mall. There's too many people there. I go to this little store over on Division called Levine's. It's a big blue building, man. You can't miss it. Oh man, Levine, you can get a nice pair of shoes, 79 bucks, 120 maybe. Yeah, I go to Levine's. Somebody's comments got filtered. I don't know what you say. Most people spend way too much time talking about what they don't want. You don't got to talk about what you don't want. There you go. Paid help. Paid help. Your job is to there is no such thing as failure. It's feedback. I used to be in the military. Hated being in the military. You know why I hated being in the military? Couldn't grow my beard. Couldn't wear my nose ring. Oh, I ain't got my earrings in. Couldn't wear my earrings. Couldn't grow my hair. And I kept talking about that. I would find other people in the military who didn't like being in the military. We would sit down and talk about and compare stories about how we didn't like being in the military. Meanwhile, we kept re-enlisting, kept going on TDYs, kept going on deployments. We kept being in the military because that was the frequency we were hanging out in, being in the military. Then I started talking about what I wanted. I can't wait to get out of here. I want to grow my beard. I want to wear my nose ring. I want to be me. I want to express myself. If I got something to say politically, I don't want to have to bite my tongue. I want to say what I got to say. I don't want my money connected to my stripes on my shoulder. I want my money connected to my passion. I don't want to work. I want to play. I want to do things. I want to get paid to do things I would do for free. Yeah, I want to get paid to do things I would do for free. I accidentally started coming across books like Think and Grow Rich. Accidentally started discovering things like boss moves and started learning about funnels and marketing. I accidentally met a hypnotist. There was a full-time hypnotist. I'm like, hold on, that's your job? That's all you do? He said, yeah, bro, that's all I do. I want to do that. I accidentally started finding evidence of what I wanted. Then I accidentally went back to school. I accidentally started doing, wait, the military pay for this? I don't even got it. When I just started talking about what I want, putting my attention on what I want. Did it happen overnight? Absolutely not. Was it always easy? Absolutely not. But as long as I just kept finding my way back to the conversation of what I wanted, spending more time focusing on what I wanted, piece by piece, I created the life that I wanted. My body has no choice but to follow my focus. If I watch a sad movie, I don't got to try to feel sad. Just watch the movie. If I watch a funny movie, I don't got to try to laugh. Just watch the movie. If you focusing on what you don't want, you don't got to try to feel anxious. You don't got to try to feel down. You ain't got to try to feel overwhelmed. Just keep focusing on what you don't want. But if you figure out what you want and just start thinking about it, just start playing it in your mind, you're going to accidentally start moving in that direction. Like I used the analogy of an attractive person. Sometimes I'll be live and my girl might walk in the room to grab something. I'm attracted to her. And if I focus on her, I'm gonna end the live. So if I want to stay live, I gotta be like, hold on, don't look over there. Because if I start focusing on her, my body is gonna respond to what I'm focusing on. So I'm like, she's trying to distract me. She gonna get me. I gotta focus on her. I ain't gotta try to get aroused. I ain't gotta want to get aroused. I could be mad at her. I'm still attracted to her. My body's gonna respond to what I'm attracted to. Find you a goal that you're attracted to. Find you a goal that you're attracted to and start focusing on it. Your body is going to get aroused by what you're attracted to. Now, if it's a goal that your mom handed to you, a goal that your dad handed to you, and it's a goal that don't excite you, don't be surprised that that goal isn't doing it for you. Duh, you're not attracted to it. Find a goal that you like. People see my work ethic as a hypnotist. They go, man, you're a workaholic. No, I got my dream job. I wouldn't, if I was a construction worker, I would not approach it with this same type of enthusiasm. If I was an accountant, I would not approach it with this same type of enthusiasm. But this job that's super attracted to me, my job and my hobby look a lot alike. One of my favorite things to do is go downtown and hypnotize people. What's your hobby? Hypnosis. What's your job? Hypnosis. What other hobbies you got? Reading books about hypnosis, going to hypnosis seminars, teaching hypnosis. It's so. I found something that I was attracted to, and I started focusing on it. As I focus on this thing that I'm attracted to, I don't gotta try to get aroused. I told y'all an hour, no, probably not an hour. I told y'all 25, 30 minutes ago that I was getting off soon. See how I'm accidentally staying on longer than I'm supposed to? Figure out what you are attracted to, not what marketers are telling you you want. Not what people on TikTok are showing you 1,000 times a day. Ooh, I just can't quit ordering stuff out of the TikTok shop. Take it from a hypnotist. That's by design. The first time you saw it, you're like, that's cool. The 100th time you saw it, you're like, I need one of those. Start putting your goal where you can see it. You want to know about what? You want to know about hypnosis? If you click the link in my bio, you can schedule you a free consultation. We'll jump on Zoom and we'll talk. How do I handle religious people? I don't handle religious people. I put out content. If the message resonates with you, book a consultation. If the message don't resonate with you, why the hell would you book a consultation? I love religious people. I don't got nothing against religious people. I tell people all the time, I will hypnotize you. I will pray with you. I will manifest with you. I don't care what you call it. The Bible is one of my favorite books. The Quran is one of my favorite books. I study everything. I like all of it. And if you want however you want to approach it, we can approach it. I love scripture. I go deep into the scriptures. Let's go. Understanding what hypnosis actually is, I think Jesus is one of the greatest hypnotists to ever walk this earth. He didn't negotiate with terrorists. I call negative thinking terrorists. He didn't negotiate with terrorists. He understood the power of suggestion. He understood the power of metaphor and parables. Jesus was a phenomenal hypnotist. He'll give Milton Erickson a run for his money on his worst day. Like, most people don't know what hypnosis is. Like, most people learned about hypnosis from a movie or from what they saw on TV, but they don't know what hypnosis is. As humans, we're suggestible. We're suggestible. So I look at hypnosis like a doctor checking your reflexes. If a doctor sits you down on the little table thing and he pops your knee in the right spot, your knee kicks out. It's not magic. It's not witchcraft. He understands the body, and he knows that if he hits the knee in that very specific spot, it should have a specific response. If your body don't have that response, we got a problem. That's weird. Now you actually need the doctor more than you thought you needed the doctor. Hypnosis isn't magic. As humans, we're suggestible. Hypnotists are people who understand how to use that natural God-given power that you have to help you quit smoking, to help you lose weight, to help you quit drinking, to help you get in the gym, to help you do the things that you need to do. Like, as hypnotists, we're real big on language and the power of language. If I'm downtown doing like some entertainment hypnosis or some street hypnosis or something, and somebody say, I don't feel like that's going to work on me. Ooh, you just gave me a lot of information. You don't even realize it. You didn't say I don't see that working on me. You didn't say I don't think that'll work on me. You didn't say, man, I don't sound like it'll work on me. You said I don't feel like that'll work on me. You're kinesthetic. Hypnotists are people who pick up on that kind of stuff. You're kinesthetic. And your eyes tend to go up when you talk a lot. So you're seeing images. So you're what we call a visual kinesthetic. The way that I'm gonna hypnotize you is gonna be visual kinesthetic. Okay, got it. Got it. A hypnotist is really good at reverse engineering how you use words, how you use language. I could tell a lot just by how you describe your problem. Everybody does, Holy Spirit. You ever accidentally offended somebody? Hypnosis is, I'm not going to say it's not, but it's not limited to, look at this banana, you're getting sleepy. That's one way to do it. But have you ever accidentally offended somebody? You hypnotize them. You said something, they processed it, and as a result of what you said, they're in a different state of consciousness. A long time ago, one of my homeboys, he was like, man, you ever use hypnosis to, get women to... I say, hey, Zach, please don't tell me you out here having intercourse without hypnosis. That's the definition of sexual assault. Getting consent is what we call a hypnotic induction. Foreplay is what we call a hypnotic induction. Like, hypnosis is really hard to explain it because it's like trying to explain a fish to a fish what water is. The fish is like, what's this water stuff everybody talk about? You're like, it's right there. The fish like, right where? You're like, here. It's there. It's in the music. Communion is a hypnosis practice. It's a symbolic practice. It's talking to your endocrine system. It's talking to your nervous system indirectly. That's hypnosis. Praise and worship is hypnosis. It's preparing the body to go into praise. It's preparing you to get ready to enter the temple. It's hypnosis. Hypnosis is everything. My daughter hypnotizes me and I return the favor. You tell your kids a bedtime story. It's hypnosis. If you discipline your children, it's all hypnosis. Hypnosis is the concept of me taking an idea out of here and putting it where you can see it and you grabbing onto it. Now, you're not good as me, but you are a hypnotist. I'm top notch over here. We do this shit at the highest level. We do it at the highest level. But if you hang out in my live, Holy Spirit, and you start feeling motivated and you start feeling inspired and you start feeling like, hey, maybe I can go at this again, I just hypnotize you. Like, hypnosis isn't just bark like a dog, quack like a duck. Like, that's a exaggerated form of it, but if you talk to somebody, if you went to eat at a restaurant, you telling your friend, man, the restaurant, man, the meat just fell off the bone, the environment, the scenery, you got to take your wife, man. She going to love it. You just hypnotize them. If they go to that restaurant, you were successful with the hypnosis. If not, you attempted to hypnotize them, but you weren't. But that's hypnosis, using words, using silence, using facial expression, using any of the senses to communicate an idea. And sometimes they're gonna latch onto it, sometimes they aren't. But that's all hypnosis is. What happens beyond a consultation call? It depends. I got a wide range of services from free all the way up to several $1,000s. It depends on if you want me to yourself or if you want one-on-one, if you want just hypnosis and set you back into the wild, or if you want what I call hypno coaching. And so it depends. So if you schedule a consultation, we'll figure out where your goals are and where your price point is. And based on that, I can tell you where you'll fit best in our wide range of stuff that we got going on. So if my homeboy did what to me, how would I feel? I don't understand your question. If he did what to me? What's going on, M. Leo? How you doing? What is up? What is up? What is up? Thanks for the taps, Jasmine. Thanks for the follow, Melanin. What's going on, Dreamy? Thank you, Cheryl. And I'm still here, y'all. I'm just waiting, going on. I don't want to move on from the topic without answering whatever Holy Spirit was asking me. So I'm waiting on the reply to his question to come up. Sometimes it's a lag on here. And if anybody else got questions about hypnosis, confidence, self-development, breaking habits, anything, I am at your service. I guess I'm gonna quit saying I'm gonna get off. Cause I said I was gonna. Well, my iPad on 12%, so I'm getting off soon. Repost it like the live. What's going on, Stacy? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, well, I don't know, Holy Spirit. With social media of what you want to be a good way to implement, with social media of what you want to be, it can definitely help with the second C, which is calibration. So one of the things that I sometimes have my clients do, it's good to see you too. One of the things that I sometimes have my clients do is make a second Instagram, make a second TikTok. And on that TikTok, I only want you thumbs up and I only want you commenting on. I only want you giving screen time to things that move you in the direction of where you're going. I don't care if you think it's funny. If it's not moving you in the direction of what you're going, you can watch it on your other TikTok. Don't watch it on this one. Swipe away instantly. The stuff that's going in the direction of where you're going, like it, comment on it, repost it, and just start sending those signals to TikTok. Because, yeah, it can definitely help you with the calibration. So hypnosis is largely about making new associations in the subconscious. Making new associations in the subconscious. If it's making an association in the subconscious, drop by drop, it's going to start to change the way you feel, which is ultimately going to change the way you think. That's always my goal with my clients. It's never I never focus on changing behavior. I put all of my effort, I put all of my expertise into changing the way you think and feel. Because I know if we change the way you think and feel, you'll accidentally go out there and do some different stuff. Right now, you feel like cigarettes help you relax, and you feel like they give you something to do when you're bored, and you feel like if I don't have this cigarette, I might slap my husband and curse out my kids. So obviously, if that's how you feel about cigarettes, it's very natural for you to reach for one and light it. But if we get you to start feeling like, hey, so you telling me you suck cancer out of a straw a few hundred times a day? Tell me more about that. Well, when you put it like that, so when you sucking cancer out of this straw and robbing time away from you and your children, and you just had a grandbaby. What's your grandbaby's name? Okay. How would you feel if she was walking around the house and picked up one of your cigarettes? Oh, Jay, I would. Imagine your grandbaby chewing on one. We're gonna change the way you feel about cigarettes. So when you go from feeling like this thing helps me relax to, wow, I'm literally sucking cancer. Like, imagine having a cup that's filled with cancer, whatever cancer looks like in a cup. But you stick a straw in that cup and you swallow the cancer. As we get that in your subconscious, it's gonna change the way you feel. And when we get that impressed into your subconscious, you don't gotta use willpower to not smoke. You don't feel like smoking. It's like, imagine if it was a person you were really attracted to, you were interested in this person. You could spend all day with this person. But through just mutual friends or however, some type of way it makes it back to you that this person does inappropriate things to children. So this person that you once could spend all day with and you want to be touched by this person and you want to touch them back, you got a piece of new information about this person. Now it changes the way that you feel. You don't got to use willpower to not go over there. He was like, don't touch me. You disgust me. What's wrong with you? Why would you, like, you see how your thoughts and feelings accidentally alter your behavior. Stop trying to alter behavior. Altering behavior, I'm not gonna say it's a waste of time. It's possible with a lot of hard work. You can get where you want, but it's the scenic route, the much easier way. How do I need to think and feel so that I accidentally do those things? And you practice that thinking and feeling. And the thing that I love about practicing thinking and feeling is I can practice thinking and feeling different laying across my bed. Sit on my recliner and change the way I think and feel. I can sit on my balcony with a drink and change the way I think and feel. I don't gotta be at the gym to practice new thinking. I don't gotta be at the library to practice new thinking. I don't even gotta be at my therapist's office to practice I can practice new thinking on an airplane. I can practice new thinking sitting in my car on my lunch break. Like, it's no excuse to not be going in here and practicing new thinking. Practice the new thinking. But in order to practice the new thinking correctly, you got to keep those 5 C's in mind. C number 1, get clear about what I want. Knowing what I don't want is not the same thing as knowing what I want. It's not enough to know what I don't want. What do I want? What would I rather have? I would love it for you if you mastered the art of looking at what you don't like and without the temper tantrum, just skipping straight to the what would I rather have part. Magical results come on the other side of that. People who come here all the time, you've heard the story about how I was able to save and even grow my cleaning business by getting clear about what I wanted. How would you talk through someone negotiating with terrorists, building a new relationship with mind and thoughts? Hold on. How would you talk through someone negotiating with terrorists, building a new relationship with mind and thoughts? Fearless. So I guess you asking how would I coach somebody through that? So one of my goals. So when it's weird because when I do it, I just do it. I've done it so much. So you gotta let me really slow down and try to tell you what I do. One of the things that I'm doing in the beginning is layers to it, but one of the things that I'm doing is I'm figuring out what are they deleting from reality? What are the holes in their story? What are they so hooked up on that? What are they saying that always happens, it only happens sometimes? What are they saying that never happens, it happens more than they're giving credit to? What are the generalizations, distortions, and deletions they're making? Like we was just talking about with the smoker. If I'm talking to a smoker, I might say, well, so what's the longest you can go without a cigarette, man? He might say, Jay, I can't go without a cigarette for longer than an hour. An hour is 30 minutes is bad, but at an hour I'm losing it, man. And I might say, okay, cool. Later in that same conversation, I'm gonna say, how many hours a night you think you sleep, man? All right, Jay, I get 6, 7, sometimes even 8 hours a night. I'm gonna say, you ever wake up at night to smoke? He would say, oh no, well, if I wake up to use the bathroom, I might smoke. But other than that, no, I never wake up just to smoke. Subconsciously, he gonna go, wait a minute. I could go 8 hours without a cigarette. Like I want him to start seeing like, wait a minute, that's not true. That's a lie. And that's gonna automatically start shifting behavior just a little bit right there. Then I might say something like, so man, you mentioned you travel a lot for work. I love Delta. I always fly Delta. What airline are you flying on that you able to smoke every hour on the hour? Like, what are you like going to the bathroom and sneaking smoke? Oh well, Jay, when I'm traveling, I know it's not an option, so it's just out of mind, out of sight. So on the day that you're traveling, you're gonna get 8 hours of sleep the night before. Wake up, head to the airport, get on the plane, and go another 5 or 6 hours without. Bro, I don't think this. I think you already closer than you think this is. You paying me for nothing. Okay, cool. So you successful. When's the last time you successfully went 12 hours without a cigarette? Now, if I would have asked him that at the beginning, she would say, Jay, I ain't never went 12 hours without a cigarette. Man, you didn't smoke for the first 14 years of your life. You say you ain't never. You're gonna say, well, when you put. I was traveling for work last week. I went 20 hours without a cigarette. And I'm gonna say, you didn't kill nobody? You ain't curse your wife out? You ain't murder your children? Okay, cool, interesting. I'm not saying anything. I'm slowly knocking the legs from under that table. By the time we get to my chair and you're getting sleepy, that table's so wobbly, the hard work is done before I ever say close your eyes. And I like to do most of the work through just conversation. What are you generalizing? What are you distorting? What are you deleting? And I want it to come out of your mouth. Like a lot of times in the live, I make y'all say stuff out loud. I make y'all type stuff in the comments. That's not for me. It's because if I say it, you might get it. But if you say it, if you type it, it's finna directly start to work with your neurology. If I said, you might have been saying something to the kids when I said it and not heard it. But when you said it, not only did you hear it, you said it and you had to interact with it in here. So it's already starting to make new pathways in the brain just by having to interact with it. We all had bad experiences one time. You had a bad experience with what, Abigail? What you had a bad experience with? Y'all, my iPad is on 8%. Hypnosis? That's just feedback. What happened? You app reacted or what? What happened? Excuse me. Plug that I gotta figure out how, because if I just set it up, it's going to bend my plug up. Just need someone positive. Well, I'm someone positive. If you want my help, we got the link in the bio. And also, y'all, if you go on our YouTube channel, I got over 700 videos on the YouTube channel. You're welcome, Jasmine. I got over 700 videos on the YouTube channel. I got a lot of videos like this with me just talking and lecturing. I got some where I even got like the screen share and we're going through all of this stuff. It's guided hypnosis recordings on there. It's all types of stuff on there. And we also do custom hypnosis recordings. If anybody want one of those, click the link in my bio. You just start clicking on stuff. You'll find everything you need. For sure. What's going on, Miriam? How you doing? Welcome to the live. Every problem is a thinking problem, guys. Every problem. Any videos about marriage? Marriage is a relationship. It's one of the hardest relationships to maintain, but it's just a relationship. So I don't got none where I'm specifically talking about marriage. I do got some where I'm talking about something called E and P. Those videos might be private because we recorded those for Dreams in Action. Let's get into E and P a little bit, and we'll talk about that. So opposites attract. We've all heard that before. Opposites attract. And you got two classes of people who we call Capucinian hypnosis. Dr. Kappas developed this thing called the EMP model, where you got these people called emotionals and you got these other people called physicals. Now, the names can be a little misleading because the emotional uses their emotions as a defense mechanism and the physical uses their physical body as a defense mechanism. So the emotional isn't super emotional. They're actually more controlled with their emotions, where the physical is typically the more emotional. And we're going, as I'm explaining, I'm gonna kind of explain it like it's black and white, just because that's how you have to unpack it. And then as we get it unpacked, we can get into the nuances. So as I'm explaining, I'm gonna explain it like this person always does this and that person always does this. That's never the case. But in order to just give it to you, I'm gonna have to explain it like that, and we'll go back and color in the nuances later. But physicals are people who have really strong mind-body connections. Physicals are typically people, if they're upset, you don't gotta ask them. It's on their face, it's in their body language. They slam the door, they sit down hard, they breathe heavier. They tend to wear their emotions in the body. Whereas emotionals tend to keep their thoughts and emotions in the mind. It doesn't spread into the body, or it does it slowly. I'm not gonna say it doesn't spread into the body, but it does it slowly. So usually what happens is opposites attract. You get this physical person who's attracted to this emotional person, and this emotional person who's attracted to this physical person, and they're different. The physical has a fear of rejection, and the emotional has a fear of loss of control. And what happens is they accidentally stir up each other's biggest fears, and it creates a wide range of problems. So physicals have a fear of rejection. So even in general conversation, the physical is scanning for rejection. If you're talking to a physical and you aren't like going, okay, yeah, that makes sense. You're just standing there looking at them. Subconsciously, they gonna feel like they're getting rejected. And what physicals tend to do when they feel rejected is they tend to come closer. They tend to try harder. They want that head nod, so they're gonna give you more details. They're gonna get closer to you. And the emotional has a fear of loss of control. So the more you try to pull their reaction out of them, the more the emotional shuts down. So you got the emotional bagging back and the physical coming closer. And that's a very watered down, quick version of the roller coaster that's happening in most marriages. You got this one person who has a fear of rejection, and this one person who has a fear of control. And a month of it won't kill you, but years of it resentment starts to happen. So I give you an example of what this might look like. I'm an emotional, right? So I got an inbred fear of loss of control. It's not the way I want to behave, it's the way I was wired to behave. It's how I was handled between the ages of 9 and 14. So an example of this might be, I've been in you're manifesting marriage, so you're not already in marriage. So do what we've been talking about all day. Get in the state. If I was already married, how would I be thinking? What beliefs do I have? That's another thing that we didn't really talk about today. The emotional person fears being controlled, Cheryl. So if I was already married, what beliefs would I have? What beliefs do I have that are stopping me from being married? What beliefs are responsible for me not already being married? Like if you want to be married, but you got a belief that there is no more good men out there. I'm not saying that that's your situation. I'm just giving you an example. If you want to be married and there's a belief that there is no more good men out there, you might want to delete that belief. You might want to override that belief for one that's serving you. Or if you want to be married, but you got a belief that at a certain age point it's next to impossible to get married, instead of tackling the like getting married directly, I would be looking to see what beliefs do I have that's getting in the way of me already being married. And I want to find the equal opposite of those beliefs and start practicing those beliefs. Notice what I said. I don't want to wrestle this belief down to the ground and beat the crap out of it and reverse engineer it and understand that the reason I have this belief is because my dad. No, I didn't say psychoanalyze the belief. I say figure out what the belief is and figure out what's the equal opposite of that belief and start practicing that. I would put more of my effort into that type of work than actually manifesting the marriage. What beliefs do I have that's slowing this thing down? What am I focusing on that's slowing this thing down? What should I be focusing on to speed this thing up? And then just the energy component. It was a young lady in the live the other day, and she was talking about how she wants she's going through something with her soon-to-be ex-husband, and she was talking about how she wants her next partner. She wants to attract somebody who's fun, who's lighthearted, who just likes to have fun. And what we ended up talking about was, well, if you want to attract that person, you're gonna have to put that old situation down. She's like, oh, I'm done with my husband. I haven't talked to him in over a year. We were finally haven't talked to him in over a year. I said, yeah, you're physically divorcing him, but mentally and emotionally, he got you in the chokehold. You can't just physically divorce him. You gotta emotionally divorce him. And until you emotionally divorce him, that fun, energetic person that you are wanting to manifest, he'll go on a first date with you because he don't know yet. But after that first date and that you holding all of that and you're being a downer and you're killing the mood, that fun person that you talking about you want to manifest is not going to be attracted to this version of you. I'm not saying that he's not going to be attracted to you. He's not going to be attracted to this version of you. So if you want to attract that fun person that likes to go on these adventures and do these things, you got to go ahead and you got to become that. You got to release the things you're holding on to that's blocking it. Because that's like being on a R&B station and saying, but Jay, I want to hear gospel. And I'm saying, okay, you can hear gospel, but you're going to have to change the station. No, Jay, I'm going to do my affirmations. I've been looking at my vision board, but I'm still not hearing gospel. I don't care how many affirmations you do. They're not playing no gospel on that frequency. You got to go on the frequency where they play gospel. But Jay, you don't understand. Everybody in my family listens to this station. It's our family station. We've been listening to this station for generations. My great granddad used to, as true as all of that is, they not about to play no damn gospel on that station. Are you hearing me? So I'm about to go, but if you want to hear gospel, change the station, and I'll see you later. Like, you got to change that station. I'm facing my second marriage. A great man, but he's never been married, and I have. Okay. Follow that up with, what do I want? Because when you in a conscious thought on the problem, that means subconsciously, your subconscious goes down and keep working on it. So next time you come back and consciously visit the thought, you're going to have a whole lot of proof and evidence and scenarios about how that's a problem. I want you to get into the habit of wrapping up those types of conversations with what I want. I'm facing my second marriage. A great man, but he's never been married, and I have. Jay, I want us on the same page. I want us moving. I want to take the stuff that I learned from my first marriage, and I want to implement it here. Like, what do you want? What do you want? Ask, and it is given. So what's the ask? Because right now it sounds like you got a belief that it's impossible for you to have the marriage that you want because he hasn't been married before. That belief isn't useful. So one of the things I do with my clients is we go useful, not useful. Right, wrong, not my business. I'm not your moral compass. Don't want to be your moral compass. Is this useful to get to you to where you want to be, or unuseful? Not useful, Jay. Stop doing it. What would be a useful thought that we could replace it with? Okay? Start practicing that thought today, right now, in this second. Right here in this second. Right here in this moment. Is everything we saying making sense? Is this stuff resonating? Is it doable? Like, I don't want to just give you a bunch of theory. You got some like actionable stuff you can leave with and start implementing right away. Does hypnosis cause psychosis? I don't think it'll cause it. I don't think it will cause it. If you're already dealing with some psychosis, we just take a more holistic approach. What's going on, Scene? How you doing? I think I said your name correctly. I need some books or something to prop my iPad up on. I'm doing hypnosis for my dog fear. Worked like a charm. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. How long ago you did that, Terry J? What's going on, Rosita? How you doing? The healthy foodie. That's what's up. That's what's up. How you doing? How you doing? 2 years? That's what's up. Worked instantly, right away? You want to try it? So you can't try it, Cheryl. You got to do it. And if you try it, it ain't going to work. Imagine if you pay me for a session, Cheryl, and I try to show up. You gonna be upset. Right? So don't try it, do it. The word try implies failure. So figure out what you want. Got to know what you want. Figure out what you want. And we're going to get you hypnotized. We're going to get you hypnotized. Any other questions? Depends on the issue, Daddy. But in most cases, I say yes. There's a big study that was done, I think in the 70s, where they were showing like the average time it takes to take care of different things with hypnosis versus some other forms of therapy. Average one for hypnosis was like 6 sessions or less, where some of these other forms of therapy, stuff was taking months and years. How do I stop from running from men who seem to be too clingy? So you don't ever want to tell your mind what to stop doing. What would you rather be doing? And then we start teaching your mind how to do that. Like if I go back here and tell my girlfriend, I say, hey baby, don't get mad. She'll say, Jay, why am I not getting mad, Jay? What did you do for me tonight? She don't know how to not get mad. You can't tell yourself, stop running from men who seem too clingy. What do you want? Then you got to start fixing your thinking. Oh, Thede. Okay, thanks for correcting me. Why you been letting me say it wrong this whole time? Thede. You see how you on a seesaw? How do I stop running from men that seem too clingy? I want to like them back, not be annoyed. What do you want? Let's get the momentum. We got to build the momentum of what you want. Build neural pathways in the direction of what you want. Start to program your endocrine system, the fire in the direction of what you want. Of either E and P calibrate more versus the perceived. What would alleviate the fears of either E and P? So those fears are, you can lessen them, but those fears are, they so deep rooted, you're not gonna get out of them. It's a matter of knowing thyself. Oh, so let me give you this example of how like that might show up in a relationship. So let's say me being an emotional, I decided that I was gonna sit in the living room and work on my laptop. And I'm working on something. My partner being a physical, it's not unlike a physical to come close, take your laptop out of your lap and sit in your lap and start to hug on you. Physicals are physical. They need physical touch. As an emotional, it's gonna be a part of me. It's gonna go, who do you think you are to tell me I'm done working? How you just gonna close my laptop? What if what if, and then this is a game we go in our head. These days, everything auto saves. I don't care if you're working in Microsoft Word, Google Docs, such and such and such, it auto saved. You didn't lose anything. I don't care if you edited a video, you didn't lose anything. But I'm gonna go in my head and go, well, what if you would have ruined this video I've been working on? What if you would have, what if my stuff wasn't saved? And now I'm in a mood. But as I'm being in this mood, I've accidentally rejected my physical partner. So she accidentally struck my fear of loss of control, and I returned the favor by accidentally hitting her biggest fear of rejection. You got to know the rest of the day is not going to go good. So what you do is you understand your partner. Well, my partner is likely always going to have a fear of rejection, and I'm always likely going to have that fear of control. I can't fix my partner because my partner isn't broken. But if I want my relationship to run smoother, what I got to do is start checking me. Is she trying to control me, or do physicals tend to have the relationship as one of their top priorities? And I got to rewire my thinking to understand that she's not trying to control me. She's excited to see me. How do I not reject my physical partner and an emotional? So the nature of this, sometimes you are going to reject them. And it's not so much the problem that you are rejecting them, it's when you rejecting them and don't even know you're rejecting them. And it's been going on for months and years. And then that's when the resentment gets to build. So it's not so much, if you're with a physical, it's gonna be times where physicals feel rejected if they put on their signal light and the person doesn't like slow down or speed up and let them over. That physicals are easily rejected. So it's not so much that I'm gonna walk on eggshells and not reject them, because that's not a relationship you want to be in neither. It's that when I do accidentally reject them, I'm going to pick up on it and I'm not gonna let it go days and days and days unnoticed. I'm gonna circle back and we gonna revisit it, and I'm gonna get to learn this person. Hopefully you with somebody who's willing and able to return that favor, because you don't want one person doing all the bending in a relationship. That's gonna create resentment as well. But it's this give and take, and learning how to give what we call Twinkies. You remember back in the day when they were selling Twinkies and people blood sugar levels would drop, they'd say, give them a Twinkie. So it's being sensitive enough to your partner to be able to tell, okay, my partner needs a Twinkie, and giving it to him. You don't uninstall all your hobbies and completely reprogram yourself. That's not gonna work. But you just notice, okay, I didn't mean to reject you. Okay, let me, or if I know, like, let's say I got a busy weekend, I'm doing a seminar or something this weekend, and I'm knowing like, hey, I'm not give you no time this weekend. I'm probably gonna be reject you out this weekend. I probably should consciously make some times Thursday and Friday to give them some Twinkies, make them feel special, and make sure, hey, by Saturday they tired of looking at me anyway. They're like, okay, I need some space. EMP? Are you saying what I'm saying, which is E and P, or are you talking about something called EMP? Okay, gotcha. So the way that hypnosis helps is we get you in hypnosis, get you in trance, and we start to reprogram the mind. When you feel rejected by your partner, this is how we want to respond. When you feel like your partner is taking control, these are the things that we want to remember. Remember, my approach to hypnosis, I never change behavior. I change thinking and feeling. I change the associations that create the behavior. So physicals and emotionals typically want the same thing out of life, but they want it in different orders. The physical's top priority tends to be the relationship / sex. Under that, the physical's top priority. You know what? I got a cheat sheet on my laptop where we go deeply into this. I'm gonna show y'all this little cheat sheet. I'm gonna get off of here one day. I promise I am. Let me see. It'll be easier to explain it with this worksheet and give y'all a visual, because I'm giving y'all a lot of information to hold in your head, and I keep backtracking because I want to make sure that y'all are holding it all. But let me just give you something you can see, and then we can get through this quicker. I wish I could share my laptop screen on here. That would be awesome. Just not today. Now I'm getting off here at some point. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's get rid of you. All right, so we got these two. We got the emo, which is the E, which is what I've been calling the emotional, and the phys, which I've been calling the physical. So these are their personality traits and how they tend to do personality-wise. The emos tend to be more reserved, while their physical partners tend to be more outgoing. The emos tend to be more head-ruled, while their partners tend to be more heart-ruled. Emos tend to be more controlling, while their partners tend to be more dominating. Emos tend to want space, whereas their partners tend to want connection and touch. Emos prefer socializing one-on-one, while their partners tend to enjoy socializing in groups. So you can see how they're kind of equal opposites. Singular focus, moving focus. Thinks before reacting, reacts spontaneously. Prefers showing affection privately, comfortable with affection anytime. Distrust flattery, likes reassurance and compliments. So you can see the rest of this list. So you can see how that could become a problem. If you're reserved and I'm outgoing, you're head ruled and I'm heart ruled. But let's talk about why they're attracted to each other in the first place. The reason they're attracted to each other in the first place is because they see qualities in the other person that they don't see in themselves. The charismatic woman who could really work a room is attracted to that man who's sitting over there without anybody's need for approval. He don't care to be the spotlight. He's comfortable being in the background. Part of the reason she might be charismatic is because she grew up in an environment where she had to perform. She had to turn it on to get no. She was the middle child with 3 kids. So if she disappeared in the background, she might disappear forever. But she really admires this person who's okay just being back there. And the guy who's just sitting back in the cut, he's attracted to this beautiful woman who can work the room, because he couldn't do that if his life depended on it, man. I couldn't get up there, and that would be exhausting me. So they're attracted to the opposites that they see in each other. That's what creates the spark that's necessary for a relationship. So in the beginning, it's fun. But once they, become involved and they start building this life together, she wants to have, 10 people over to the house. And he like, I barely want you and the kids here. You trying to invite 10 more people here. So that's where things start to get interesting. But the part that I really want to get into before we get off of here is the priorities and how they prioritize things. So we got the emotional priorities over here, and we got the physical priorities over here. So if you notice, the physical's top priority is relationship and sex. Look at the emotional's bottom priority. Sex and lovers. If you'll notice, the emotional's top priority is career and financial security. Look at the physical's bottom priority, career and financial security. So this is where it gets interesting. Both of these people want the same things, but in opposite orders. When the career and the financial is not together, the emo ain't really thinking too much about sex. When the career and the finances ain't together, the hobbies and the children, like, yeah, y'all need to go to sleep. I'm trying to make sure we got a roof over our heads. You want me to zoom out a little bit like that? But you got the phys over here. If the relationship and stuff not together, all of their effort is going into getting the relationship back on track. So they turning in stuff late at work. They at work, they not focused. They thinking about the relationship. When the physicals get in a relationship, physicals tend to cut their friends off when they get in relationships. They center their life tend to become their partner. But you got to think about it. It's not a smart idea to cut off all your friends and hobbies with a person who wants space and security. So you, when I met you, you were bubbly and you had all of these friends, and I was attracted to that. Like, oh wait, you do that? Oh, you on that committee? Like that's sexy. But now you've cut off all of them, and you want to spend all your time with, like, no, I was thinking that you could do that while I'm doing this. I was like, oh, she could keep herself busy sometimes. So it's little nuances like that that make dating so hard. But as you start to like know your partner, understand my partner is like this. My partner's like this. And even when I don't like their response, I understand it's not just them having a vendetta against me. They're wired different than me. So my partner doesn't hate me, just the way they were handled between ages of 9 and 14. Sometimes they need space and security. And my partner isn't trying to control me. Relationship and sex is just their top priority. So a lot of times just having the understanding of why that person is doing what they're doing, it might still be annoying, but understanding what's fueling it makes it a lot more digestible. Because without that, you're going to make up your own narrative about why they're doing it. And it's wrong, but it has an emotional charge. The subconscious buys into it. And now you are unapologetically handling them different, and it's out of context. Because now it's, instead of going, man, this person's trying to control me and make me do this and make me do this, you're going, man, I'm really lucky to have a person who knows that I'm a workaholic. And even at the risk of getting their head bit chewed off, they still gonna lean in here and say, hey baby, have you ate today? Man, they care about me that much that they willing to get chewed out, willing to let one of their favorite people be mad at them just to make sure I got what I need. And then you'll find yourself accidentally handling them with grace. And in most cases, unless you just with a real cuckoo bird, they're gonna return that favor to you. But most people, they go right for trying. Most people, even when they recommend we should go to therapy, what they inside their head saying is, I can't fix you. I'm gonna need professional help to help me fix you. Not let me go work on me and you go work on you. Let's go to therapy so a therapist can tell you what I'm telling you and you can see that you're wrong. That's what a lot of people's drive is with couples therapy. Come on, because I need a professional to help me fix you. When it's not your job to fix another adult. Your job is to give them room and space to be who they are. And if who they are isn't a good match, like, man, we probably gotta have another conversation. But that's what the date. It's so much better if you could finish that out during the dating phase. But sometimes we end up marrying a person that we just, for whatever reason, aren't a good fit. What if they can't dress? Are they willing to let you help them dress? Like, you a woman, so with a man, you say, "Oh, babe, I love the way you look in that shirt. He finna wear that shirt every time it's clean. Babe, when you put on that shirt, I just want to do X, Y, Z to you. You hypnotize him, manipulate him. Use your hypnosis powers. What you mean? He'll wear what you tell him to wear. Just drip. Don't say why you got that on. You can't dress. Get him what you want him to wear, and then say, "Oh, when you put that on, I just want to insert the unimaginable, and he gonna put that shit on." So use positive reinforcement. Use the carrot, not the stick. Baby, I love it when you put on those button-up shirts that fit, and it show. Tell them what to do without telling them what to do. Tell them what, like, that's your partner. He wants you to be attracted to him. Coach him. Coach him. Then it really helps if we understand if he's the physical or the emotional. Usually opposites attract. So if you're a physical, it sounds like you're a physical. He's probably emotional. He does have a fear of loss of control. So you can't just control him because now he's finna go against the grain on purpose. But compliment your way to what you want. Use that softness. Use that femininity to get what you want. I'm gonna be honest. I think successful relationships require two people who are willing to hypnotize each other. Two people who are willing to manipulate the shit out of each other. Jay, I don't want to be manipulated. Speak for yourself. I do. So when you look at the word manipulate means to handle skillfully. If you think you're finna be in my inner circle, if you think I'm finna talk to you every day and sleep beside you, and you gonna handle me without skill, you got another thing coming. I want a partner who can handle me skillfully. I want a partner who, if I've been talking about this business and I've been talking about it all of this time and I haven't taken any action, I want me a partner who gonna look me in my eyes and say, the man that I fell in love with would have been built this shit. Because my man is XY. I want a person who can, I'm okay with you manipulating me towards my goals. I'm okay with you manipulating me to the gym. I'm okay with you manipulating me to study if I need to study, to drink more water if I need. Now, if you manipulating me for my downfall, that's something completely different. If you manipulating me for your own selfish gains, that's something different. But if you my teammate, if we on a basketball team, and you pulling me to the side and say, hey, bro, all this smoking, drinking, and partying you doing, like, that shit is slowing the team down. You gotta shake out of it. You gotta snap out of it. You want people who are willing to manipulate you like that. And I like the effectively part. I'm gonna give you another hypnosis superpower that most people are scared to use: vulnerability. Vulnerability is a hypnotic superpower. Stop being afraid to be vulnerable. Like, you talking about the fact that you're angry, but anger is what we call a secondary emotion. Something happened before you got angry. You felt unappreciated. You felt misused. You felt unheard. Start talking about what happened right before you got angry and doing it in a way where you're not afraid to be vulnerable. And watch how hyper suggestible the person becomes. Watch how hyper. Now, when you jump straight to the anger and you skipping over what happened right before you got angry, y'all just finna go have an argument. Start talking about what happened. Hey, when you did XYZ, I felt unheard. I felt like I didn't matter, and that hurt my feelings. Most people are gonna take their feedback and go, "Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't my goal." And y'all can actually talk about what needs to be talked about. The anger is your nervous system just more familiar with that, and a lot of times it's more comfortable to hold anger than to hold not good enough, not important. So you grabbed anger just because you're more comfortable there. Talk about what happened before you got angry, and watch how more programmable your partner becomes. But if y'all want to be in a successful relationship, that's what y'all want to be doing. Y'all want to be programming each other. Y'all want to be shaping each other and like chipping away and sculpting at each other. Like that's the work. So people like, I don't want to be manipulated. Like can manipulation be bad? Absolutely, but sometimes you need to, like, think about it. When y'all first started dating, y'all were doing a lot of manipulating, and that's when y'all was having the best sex. That's when y'all was having the best dates, when y'all were going out of your way to manipulate each other. Then as y'all get familiar, y'all stop manipulating each other. Y'all start handling each other any old type of way, taking each other for granted, and then that's when like get back in the act of manipulating each other. Not maliciously, but yeah, manipulate the shit out of your partner. There you go, Don Z. Hey, if you're not following Don Z, the coldest magician on TikTok. Coldest magician on TikTok. sure, for sure. Don, I was thinking about it on last time you came to the live. We knew each other for a good 5-6 years, maybe longer than that. We didn't know each other for a while, man. Chilling, man. I think we actually met during the did we meet during the pandemic? I think that's when we met. The old days, man. Yep, that's when I started streaming on there. So yep, would have been the pandemic. Any other questions before we get off here, man? Questions, comments, concerns? For sure, for sure. You're welcome, Josh, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If anybody hasn't hit that follow button yet, go ahead and do that. Also, the YouTube channel. Lots of good content on there. Lots of great content on there. Anybody interested in working with me, click the link in the bio. Schedule your consultation so we can talk about what you need. And we'll get started. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. You might as well give up. But the good news is you can learn to think it. And you can work on your thinking while you're at that job that you hate. You can work on your thinking while you're laying down in the bed. Some of that time you spending scrolling, and you could be reprogramming your thinking. If you change your thinking, you'll accidentally change your feeling, and you'll accidentally change your behavior. Forget about behavior for a while. I'm not saying the behavior isn't important. I'm saying that it's like trying to build the roof of the house before you try to build the stuff that the walls and stuff that actually hold up the house. I want you to start looking at behavior as like the roof. It's the covering of everything. But under that covering, you got to have structure, and your thoughts and feelings are that structure. Build the structure first. Who's a magician again? Don Z, he right up under you. He's a magician. All right, y'all, I'm about to land. Get some food in my body. And I'll see y'all next time. I might go live this evening too. I got a session. I'll see how I feel after my session. But I might go live this evening. And I'll see y'all later.